Greetings everyone and welcome to Primary Colors. I am your host and instructor, Kasmira Cade. Today we are going to reflect on what we want for the school year as we create a vision board that we will use as encouragement and motivation during the school year.
Hi, I'm Zyra.
Hi, my name is Isaiah.
What grade are you in, Zyra?
Fifth.
Fifth grade.
I'm in fifth grade too.
Fifth grade. Two fifth grade friends with me today. Creative visualization is a mental technique that uses our imagination to make dreams and goals come true. Creative visualization uses the power of mind and is the power behind every success. By visualizing a certain event, situation, or an object, you can attract it to your life. We will be using this technique to decide what images we will use for our vision board. The materials we will be using first is a background piece of paper, a glue stick, a whole bunch of magazines to choose from, and a pair of scissors. Thank you, Isaiah. To begin, we first need to create mental pictures in our mind. Let's do that by asking ourselves some questions and thinking about what we want for our school year. So Isaiah, we spoke a little bit about football. Can you share with our audience what goals you want for this school year, what you're thinking about?
This school year, my goals in football are not to fight or argue with my teammates.
I think that's a really good goal. What about you? What are some goals that you have for this school year?
My goal is to explore outside.
That's a good one. I remember last year there were some struggles for me. I had some struggles eating healthy and spending a lot of time or as much time as I wanted to with my family. What are some struggles you had last year that you'd like to change this year, Isaiah?
In school?
In school, at home, with family?
I'm going to start off with school. In school, I had some troubles with not listening and getting in fights. And in football, I had some time that I was fighting with my teammates and arguing. And this year, I'm going to try to stop doing it.
And you have you have some motivation for that this year, and the images that you choose for your vision board today will help you reflect on those goals, Isaiah. Thank you for sharing. What about you? What are some struggles you had in the past years that you'd like to change for this year?
Well, I want to change how the students should be acting.
Okay, that starts with ourselves, right? So maybe being a role model for students. I think you could play that role very well. What do you think?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. All right, let's start to look for some images. Open up a magazine, find images that help you think of your goal and what you want for this school year. And I think it's best, once you find something, just to rip the page out rather than trying to turn the book to cut it. So we are going to cut images out of magazines right now. I see, like I said, I wanted to spend more time with my family. Go ahead, you can cut while I'm talking. And I see this Carlos Santana image, and I love his music, and my girls love to dance, so I'm going to cut out Carlos Santana to remind me to dance with my children. And you can tell us what you have, what you're cutting out as you're cutting it out, so that our audience can see. Isaiah's cutting out. Is that a quote you're cutting out right now?
No.
What are you cutting out? Picture of football players?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Zyra is cutting out emojis to start with. That's great. I'm having a really hard time finding things that I just talked about, spending time with my family, eating healthy. So I'm going to find images that make me think of those things. So if you're having trouble, Isaiah, if you're having trouble, try and look for different types of images that will help you think about your goals. They may not be exactly the image of your goal, but they'll spark the memory of it and help you move forward. For example, Zyra has this book that has, or this magazine that has a whole bunch of different funny looking things in it. But what if this image could be representing some type of jewelry, some type of funky jewelry that you want to make this year during art class?
That just looks like an octopus tentacle ripped off.
Looks like an octopus tentacle ripped off too, but you could create different types of images that could spark ideas for your goals by thinking outside of the box just a little bit. Remember, it's personal. Now that we've cut out our images, it's time to arrange them on our surface before we glue anything down. A vision board essentially is a collage. When we create a collage, we always start with the bottom layer. And what images do we put on the bottom layer? We're going to put our largest images on the bottom layer. So, can I hold this up, Isaiah? Isaiah has started with his large football player, and he's started to overlap some of his images with a different football player's head. Isaiah, does this remind you of your goal for the school year?
Yes.
Good.
Practicing hard.
Say that again.
Practicing hard.
Practicing hard. That's great. Overlapping is when images and or textures are covering part of another image and or texture. Sometimes overlapping can create really cool juxtapositions. As a matter of fact, one of our students has a question. Let's take a look.
What is juxtaposition?
To juxtapose means to place contrasting or opposite things close together to compare or to create visual interesting effects.
Now that we have arranged our images and are happy with our composition, the way that we've arranged them, we can begin to glue our images down. Another student has a question. Let's take a look.
What are our compositions? Our composition is the way we arrange our cutout images on our surface.
Good job, guys. Thank you for that. Now, this can be pretty difficult to glue our images exactly how we have them arranged because we have overlapped without gluing. But let me show you a little trick. You ready? Once you've arranged the images you want on your paper, it is easy to flip the paper over so that your images are face down. If your images are face down, you can take your gluing surface, flip it back over, and pick up the images as they are to put them where you want them on your gluing surface. Now let's glue. Isaiah started to glue. Zyra has started to glue. Make sure you overlap and cover the white spaces. You may even want to fill some of your spaces with blank construction paper. So there you go. That works. Can we show that? Zyra cut out an extra piece to fill a white space here, and it's overlapping just a little bit one of her images she placed on the background, the first layer of her collage. Good job.
I put what I know.
What I know. There you go. I'm going to add orange. I ran out of images for my vision board. So I'm going to add blank blocks of color. Then maybe I can write little messages to myself. I'm doing this vision boarding project with 2 5th grade students. However, you can use the same process at home with your children, with your friends, with your family. Also, vision boarding is a great way to start off the new year in January to think about what you want for the year. Go ahead, Isaiah, you have something to add?
No.
This is going to be a really good way for you and you to think about your school year, but you can use it outside of school also. Even if you wanted to get together, Isaiah, with your football players, the people on your team, to think about what you wanted your season to look like, you all could do a vision boarding project, and you guys could talk about your vision board before you hop out on the football field. That's a good way to use the vision board. When you move to a new place, you could start to think about things that you want to experience in the new place. That's a really good way to use the vision board also. So you can use it at home, and remember, it's personal. So they're not all going to look the same, and if someone else is looking at your vision board, they may not see the same thing. But have fun with it.
How does this look?
I think that looks great, Isaiah. When we do our paint wash, we can fill in some of those white spaces. We really made a mess, didn't we? Yeah, we made a huge mess. Now it's time. We have created our collage. Now we need to paint our acrylic wash. So let's clean up this mess and get the paint out. You ready? While we're getting the paint, one of our students has another question. Let's take a look.
What is acrylic wash?
An acrylic wash is acrylic paint mixed with water.
Now that we've glued our images down, let's show them. Let's show them what we did. Now remember, it's personal, so your vision board is not going to look like anyone else's vision board because it's about you and your goals. You may have some extra space, but we're going to show you what to do with that right now. We are going to put our paint wash on. Let's choose our color and begin. Here's your brush. Your brush. Blue?
Yeah.
Okay. Blue. Isaiah, what color do you want?
Orange.
Orange. And I will take my favorite color, green.
I knew it. I knew it.
So you're just going to put your paintbrush in and just put a very, very thin layer over top of everything except for what you think is the most important here. For me, the most important image here for me would be this of Carlos Santana because I really want to dance with my girls. So I'm going to paint everything except for Mr. Santana. You get started. Get started. Go ahead.
I remember the question.
What's the question?
Is this only like paint and water mixed up?
That's a really good question. It is paint
So
and water
we'll
mixed
just-
up. Just painting over top of everything except for the most important. Yep, go ahead and get started.
The most important.
Pretzels.
The most important is your pretzels? Okay, you're going to paint around it. What's the most important for you, Isaiah?
Ooh.
No.
These two? Okay, good. Then you're going to paint everything except for that.
Cover the table.
Good. And so we can clean the table. So this acrylic wash is pretty messy, but we can clean it up. It will come off of your table. Acrylic paint, however, may not come off of your clothes. So be very careful. But messy is fun. Good, Isaiah. Cover some of those white spaces too. Good job. So this is what I did. For me this year, I want to focus on spending more time with my family. Maybe that means listening to music and dancing, or maybe that means going on a trip fishing or kayaking somewhere. All of those sound really fun to me, but the main thing for me is spending more time with my family. Now, I did this, but there's more that you can do after this to really make your main goal pop. You can use glitter to put glitter around the images. You can use yarn to draw a line around some things. You could even create your own images to cut out and put on your own vision board. There are so many different options you could choose. 2 important things. That's good. Your first important for you was the pretzels. What's the second?
The pictures.
The pictures.
Said this and the rest.
Okay. You want to show our audience?
I was gonna get stuck on the table.
Looks good. Keep going. All right. Thank you so much for joining us in our first episode of Primary Colors with Miss Cade. This is our vision board. Remember, it's personal. You can do what you want with it. You can add your own goals to it. If you want to reach out to me with any questions or to share what you've done, my Twitter is @Kasmira Cade. But thank you so much for joining us, and enjoy your vision boarding. Take us home, Isaiah.
Yeah, you'll have a good time doing this. And thanks for having us, Miss Kate.
Thank you. Good job, guys.